Better late than never, somebody says. Someone said that once. Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Who's here? Who's here? Let me see. Let's see. Cat's here. Lemon's here. It's good to see you guys. All right, special guest coming up today. It's Big Brother. Big Brother's in the house. Let's get him a link. All right, Bitcoin Nashville. Bitcoin. NFTs, Ordinals. Looking terrible. God, looking terrible. Hey, what's up, Mo? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I can't wait to dive in today. Good catch-up. Review the past week in NFTs. We're basically at the end of the month. So we're going to peek at how NFTs are doing here for July. Dude, it was, meeting ran long and really good meeting. It's all stuff that you're going to see. It's all stuff you're going to see as these announcements come. It's cool. Yeah, still juggle the job with the job, but meetings run long. It was such a great meeting. It's one of those ones that, like, down the road when things are announced, I'll point back and be like, hey, remember that time? Yeah, this is what was cooking. It's really cool stuff. Really excited about that kind of thing. Man, because I don't know where else to fit this in, I'm just going to fit it in here. I got this in my email just a bit ago. Fits in with the Donald Trump Bitcoin Nashville conversation, but Trump's got some new Bitcoin sneakers. Man, oh man, oh man. Oh, hey, Mo, we should peek at that live. We should peek. I want to see it. That's some really, really solid alpha, right? We're talking about that Nero token, right? The new Doge dog token. Ken is worth looking at. Apparently, the first dog owned by I don't know her name, but the lady who owned the Kosovo dog, what it is. If you are a huge Giga Trump stan, maybe you're out at Bitcoin 2024 Nashville and you need something to commemorate that event. Here you go, some Trump sneakers. Trump the crypto. I dig that, man. Trump the crypto president. These shoes are hideous, though. But they're a mock-up, obviously. The last ones, right? Those last gold shoes actually looked incredible. I would actually wear those other shoes. But those sold out really quick. I think there was 500 pairs. 1,000 of these, $500, 5 pairs signed. They look terrible. Lemon, actually true. I would be tempted, and I don't think they're sold out. I also scrolled down and saw he had some fight shoes. This guy's nuts. Come on, this guy is like, there's no bigger grifter. There's no bigger grifter in the world than this guy. Look at that, the blood dripping down his face. These don't look good either, but I think it's the mock-ups just don't look good. These look cool. Right, the low tops look actually kind of cool. But I don't think anything beats his first gold pair. Those really shiny gold ones. Those were really cool. But now you got some gold Bitcoin sneakers, so pretty damn cool. All right, what are we talking about? I don't know. I think you guys mostly tune into Inside NFTs. So this would be a review if we just touch on the Trump Bitcoin Nashville stuff, although it's worth chatting about still. Quick reminder, 9 days left to claim your CryptoSlam Thunder Pass NFT. So if you've not claimed, do it. Claim.cryptoslam.io. For whatever reason, it's not the site. It's not with my computer, but my because I've gone to other sites and it does the same. But I keep getting told like I'm on mobile, which I'm not. But yours will look a little different. Actually, maybe it says that because I claimed. But run through the claim process, get your NFT. More news coming soon. Can't wait. Can't wait for you to see. Good morning, Cosmos. With your Aeon. How's that doing, by the way? How are those Aeons looking? Because the Ordinals in general looking trash. Not looking good. Bitcoin puppets are under 0.1, guys. That's crazy. There's some great opportunities out there, so definitely want to peek at that. Need to peek at Ordinals, need to look at NFTs. Some cool news out there. Let's peek at crypto real quick. We'll look at ETFs from Friday. I'm going to refresh this because actually over the past hour or so, Bitcoin did cross or at least touched 70K. Right now it's 68.7. ETH at 3,300. Solana 188. Yeah, you can see here down in the past hour, almost across the board. Not really sure why, actually. You just hit those levels, right? So it was a lot of gaming of this stuff. Lemon, I'm curious if you know why other than a level right there. But great, we touched 70K. A little bit of a dump since then. I cannot condone that, Lemon. ETFs Friday. 51 mil in Bitcoin ETF inflows. On the ETH side, like we talked about, just good news for volume. 2 days last week, over $1 billion in volume. Daily, I think another day, I think it was Friday, over 500 mil. So ton of volume in the ETH ETFs. But 3 of the 4 days last week, outflows outpacing inflows. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm not going to pull up the chart. Again, you know what happens when I do. But yeah, really, really cool to see. It feels like, and tell me if you guys see it too, if you agree, but sentiment-wise and just your gut, it feels like we're on that next leg up. It feels like we're heading towards something special here. Right? Next all-time high, next kind of a next milestone for the space here. It really does feel like it. So all-time high, yeah, breaking 74. But yes, probably smashing 80K, 90K. I think this is the time where we finally get that move up and do 6 figures. We finally get to 100K and beyond, and this one might be really special, guys. Yeah, I can't underestimate how big last week was. Former presidential candidate talking about buying the United States holding 5% of the supply of Bitcoin. My God, guys. The kind of buy pressure that's coming into Bitcoin it's hard. I can't even put it into words. It's not just hard to put into words. I can't do it. Literally can't do it. Yeah. Yep. You know, again, the Mt. Gox Bitcoin, will it hit the market? Will it be a factor? I don't think so. I think we are just chewing through Bitcoin other than a few days last week. But, man, we will gobble that up if it even hits the market. You know, because it's now in hands of people who believe in this stuff. Why would you be selling right now? They'll sell into the pump, but this isn't it yet. This is it just loading up. It's coiling up and it's ready. But, man, oh, man, it's about to get really fun here. Good morning. Agreed. 100K is going to be incredible. Good morning. Good to see you, Archivio. Okay, NFT sales, not fantastic Sunday. You know, on par with a couple days last week, but a conference week, usually really slow. So slowness just continued. I guess silver lining here, midway through the data period for today, and we're looking like we're on pace for 16, 17, maybe almost 18 million in sales. So sales looking pretty decent for a Monday. We'll take it. Yesterday, those sellers down, buyers down. Transactions down, profits not looking great, but I want to flip to the weekly view, and then I want to flip to the monthly view. We did break our streak where we had 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row of increasing sales volume. We did break that last week. 98.6 million in cross-chain sales, so sales actually lower last week. No biggie. Happens. Again, I'll keep saying it, conference week. It's always slower during a conference. It always is. So not shocked by that at all, and especially not shocked because that's just what summers do as well. We're very, very accustomed to seeing that. Here, we'll look historically. Right? Summer's just slow. It just is. Here's 22. 21 was really, really different. 21, we started cooking right around now. In fact, man, if we were to mirror what 2021 looked like, right around now is when things would start really picking up. I don't know if that's going to happen this time. But I do think it's close, guys. I do think it's close. And then you see similar in 2023, although 23 was just a bum of a year. It really was. But, you know, last summer we had the Azuki Elementals mint, and that killed us. And that was a year ago, maybe yesterday, day before. That was it. I'm just seeing if we remember right, like July. Oh, it might have been June. June 26th, 27th, 28th. It might have been July 26th, 27th, 28th, in that ballpark. Well, actually, this would be here. Yeah, June 26th. You see last year, dead this time of year. This is the slow time of year. Not shocked to see NFTs slow right now. But also doesn't feel so bad. Even with volume being low, sentiment, as low as it is, it feels like everybody's just primed and ready and waiting for this space to cook again. And that's not me speaking for myself. I know people that feel the same way. Everyone's just excited for this to kind of take off again. It doesn't feel far. And I'll say, even if that means next year, that this run comes next year, that's not that far off. We've been through very dark times here in the space. It doesn't feel far off. So, yeah, 96 mil in sales. Across the board, just down. Sellers, buyers, transactions actually up. Not surprised to see average sale price go down. We see that go hand in hand, right? And you guys are noticing that here too. Transactions up, transactions up, average sale price down. That's the trend we see. And then trade profits negative $4 million. So yeah, heading the wrong direction there. And then switch to monthly, which we have 2 days left in July. And so similar there as in we're finishing very likely lower this month. So about 2.5 days to go. We'll probably get to, let's say, 15 million a day. So let's add another like 30, maybe almost 40 mil to that. Don't think we're going to beat June. Not very likely unless we have some kind of major turnaround here. And so if we hit, we can safely assume we'll pass 400 mil. Safe to assume that. Let's say 420 mil, 425. Where does that put us around? That puts us around August 2023. Let's find other months where it's comparable. I mean, really, it's one of our lowest months ever. Right? If we start talking about, the more current modern NFT market, April 2021. I mean, think about that. April 21. September, October. Guys, this will be like our 4th or 5th lowest month of sales volume. Period. Yeah. Again, it's using our own criteria here, right? I'm not going back to 2020, different times, but very low month of sales, and sentiment doesn't match it. Sentiment right now feels nothing like end of last year, and that's a great thing. It's a great thing that this is now our bottom. This is our floor. This is where we spring back up from, if and when that sentiment changes. Yes, Dad, yes. Good morning, Miguel. Good morning, good morning. Dad, yes, I feel it, dude. The super cycle. Crypto super cycle, meme coin super cycle, and NFT super cycle is going to happen. If those happen, to me, it feels inevitable. It's because so many people are going to make so much money in this cycle. When Bitcoin crosses 100K, because it's not going to stop there, truthfully. It's 150K. Something like that is absolutely in play here. And I think great chance and pretty likely it's more like 200. Really, really do think that happens. There's a good chance for that. And people spend stupid. People spend reckless. And that's what it is. It is reckless spending at that point. Especially knowing how low NFTs can go. Reckless spending. But that's what happens. And that brings an NFT super cycle. It's coming. It's coming. You came in at the end of the last bull run. Interesting. When did you come in? If you what year? Q, what's up, brother? Dude, I'll put this out there. You and I need a good chat, by the way. I owe you that, and I apologize. But, man, you need to get your ass up here. I love this, man. 2021. Oh, okay. All right. You came in when a lot of people came in. I initially said this feels a lot like 2021, but even better than that was hearing from guys who were in NFTs much earlier, right? 2017, 18, 19, 20. And those guys are saying right now feels like 2020. And my God, how exciting is that? Because I felt the tail end of 2020 and I felt very early 21 before things really started cooking. And this does feel like earlier than that. Like at first I mistook this as maybe this feels like the end of the year, like where things really died off. It kind of felt like that, like, oh, we got a little energy and then poof, it just kind of like, it just petered out. But no, hearing instead that it's this more sustainable thing, it's bubbling up and it's just waiting for this release. That's really what it feels like. It really does feel like that. And hearing again some of those people talk who've been around saying it feels like 2020, man, that's exciting. Now, what has to come with it, and it just might, is user adoption. We got to get more users in this space. Someone's got to buy our bags, right? It's just how we put it. Someone's got to buy our bags. But picture what this space looks like now as opposed to what it looked like in 2021 when you were minting from contracts and your only option was buying NFTs on ETH for the most part, right? And then Solana comes around. But man, now you got Solana and they got great wallets and they got great marketplaces and you got Base and the same thing applies there. Great marketplaces. It's mostly Magic Eden. You got OpenSea, but great wallets, great content out there, guys. There's a lot of great content that helps people learn this space. It didn't exist back in 2021. Yeah, I do love the Banana Zone. I do. The content didn't exist back then. The information didn't exist. The onboarding didn't exist back then. That's probably the biggest X factor nobody's talking about right now. Is that previous bull run? It was a fucking free for all, and you were left to figure out everything yourself. You had no resources. There was nobody teaching. You had to go, and that's why everybody grouped up. Right? It's why everybody grouped up. You found your own. You started your own alpha groups, and you all learned together. It's what I did with my buddies. Right? It's how we made it. And it's different now, though. Same thing applies. Everyone's going to find their community and their group to run with, but you didn't have videos coming out that explain stuff to you. You didn't have timely news. It didn't exist. This run is going to be different than what we saw before, and it's so easy for new people to come in. So whether they come in from meme coins on Solana, and they just might, or if NFTs get like really cool again and they come in from that's possible. And it's actually likely too. Man, people are going to be met by the crazy-ass meme coins and massive returns, and they're going to be so excited. Hopefully on the side or at the same time, they're making a lot of money on Bitcoin and on ETH. And then hopefully they're receptive to NFTs this time, which will be a lot of fun. They have Web3 games to play. The other side, the doors are open there. Right? This is a much better and much healthier-looking ecosystem than 3 years ago. It just is. As much as we say it fell apart. I don't know that anybody's actually saying it fell apart, but as much as we thought, this is where I'm going to speak for myself. I thought very little was built. It's actually not true. We were building the foundation, which, sometimes doesn't look as cool. It's not as flashy. You're not going to make money building that foundation yet, right? That comes down the road. Building out infrastructure, right? Building out the platforms we're using. But what's coming next is the speculative side that is running on all those platforms. And that's the part that's really going to catch people's attention. And it's really going to hook people, and it's really going to bring these users in. It's going to be so freaking fantastic. It's hard to not get excited about it. At the same time, it's good to just let it come, be ready, stay liquid, keep your eyes on stuff, which you guys have been doing throughout the bear market all this year too. So this group's ready. I know that for sure. We're ready. But man, it's coming. Bring on that Banana Zone. Yeah. Yep. Hey, maybe that's the biggest advice there. Dude, yes. Love dog. Bought some dog last week. Rune's in a tricky spot, by the way. Rune's in a real tricky spot, just about to fall below a $1 billion market cap, right, for the whole ecosystem. And it did briefly last week, 2 days last week, under $1 billion. Runes will be okay. Opcat's going to be a game changer for Runes. One centralized exchange listing, like a big one, changes everything. But Rune's in a tricky spot. Guys, go pay attention to Solana meme coins. You have to. I got bit, right? I'm hooked now. I got to play it more, but I'm hooked after getting into the, smoking chicken fish. That's it. I got into that early enough and I made a little something. Wasn't much. Honestly, a few $100. It wasn't much. But I got a win and I saw how easy it was. I mean, my God. Hear about meme coin early, buy 1 soul worth of meme coin. A day later, 4 or 5x. It happens every fucking day over on Solana. All day long. All right, now you got all these Nero tokens. Dozens of them. And a lot of these already hitting 20, 40, $50 million market caps just to start. One of those is going to hit $1 billion. One of those is going to hit multiple billions, guys. You have to get a Phantom wallet set up or Magic Eden wallet. You have to go set up, BullX. You need to get these Telegram bots set up. You need to get familiar with these platforms. Bird's Eye, Radium. You got to get familiar with these platforms. You got to get your wallet set up and you got to use them and start using them now. Even if you're not going to trade yet, get on those platforms and start poking around. You have to. Just dipping my toes in the Solana meme coin stuff, it feels like, you know what? It feels like early 2021 NFTs. It absolutely feels like that. So guys, you have to. If you haven't done it yet, go do it. Like make that a goal today or this week. You got to get in. You got to get in and start playing with those coins. Bird Eye, thank you. There you go. You got to do it. Look at all these Nero tokens, man. And these pop up like in a millisecond. We didn't have pump.fun last time, man. We didn't have it. We got pump.fun now, so we got crazy ass meme coins popping up as easily as people minted NFTs last cycle. And by the way, yeah, I still think NFTs are going to come back and do the same thing, and I think we'll put last run to shame at some point. We maybe don't do that this cycle, although I think good chance. But meme coins are definitely doing that. There's a Nero token, by the way, on ETH that I'm definitely keeping my eye on. Mostly because Kook tweeted it out. But yeah, definitely be watching this. Definitely get on these platforms. Maybe get some skin in the game. I mean, honestly. Yeah. Oh, wow. Taking a little bit of a dive here, huh? Raoul Powell's been tweeting about this. Actually been buying some. This is what is it? Smoking chicken fish. Such a dumb name. What's the market cap up here? I'm probably, wow, is it 52 mil? I'm probably getting back in here. I think this one's going to be a few hundred. I'll probably get back in there. But get on these platforms, guys. Got to use them. Maybe I should put together a little doc, like a list. Okay, hang on. Pay attention to, yeah. What's it at now price-wise? I never pay attention to that. Oh, you're in it. You're in here at 6. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it can. I think most of the guys where I heard of this from, I think all of them are still in. I don't think any of them is sold. This one feels different, right? This one kind of gives me like Bohm vibes. It's got a way different energy than any of the other shitters. Yes, sir. Did he give details yet? Because they had that little teaser, Harto X Far, and then that little animation, but did they give details on it? Let's check out Ken. Wait, this is a Solana token, huh? Okay, no details yet. All right. Here's Ken. Yeah, I don't know with this one. You know, the fact that it's a new token, like, yes, it's named after the original dog, but I don't know if that's a good enough narrative. It might be. It might be. You know what? Like, when things are euphoric, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Under $1 million market cap, if I'm looking at the right one. All right, guys, I need to grab a coffee, so let me give you a jam. BRB. Oh my God, worst host ever or what, huh? Show up late, walk off, like whenever. No, I need fuel. I need fuel for the vibes. Yes. Dude, it's a really good point. Yep. There are safe. Hey, even Pepe. Like, some of these memes are safe. And some of these memes are still going to 2x and 3x, which is crazy. I hope he's not watching right now, but if you guys caught Brian on the show last week from Crypto Slam, he's got a story. Did we talk about it live on air? He possibly has one of the biggest, I hope he's not watching because I don't mean this to like, this is not shitting on anybody. One of the biggest whiff fumbles ever. Like bought really, he is a hardcore Solana degen, hardcore. He bought whiff really fucking early and he sold really early for like a 2, 3, 4, 5x, something like that. Kind of like I did with chicken. God, I suck with names. Smoking chicken fish, right? Same thing. His whiff bag would be worth at least $1 million, but it's possible that it's millions. Yeah. So along with getting stuff and knowing how to time it and stuff, got to learn, not a comment on him, by the way, it's me and everybody. Got to learn maybe the best way to trade. Like, how do you optimize it? Get in, find, plan when you go into these things. Take back what you put in, maybe a little more. Find the next multiple where you want to take out more, maybe a majority, and then keep your moon bag. Know how much you're going to keep in as your moon bag. Because it hurts. Dude, it hurts when you were in something and you miss it, man. Where do you get these nodes, by the way? Because I see the NFTs selling that are licenses to nodes, but where do people get these nodes? And are these like dummy proof? Like, could a normie go in and do these things? Or are they kind of like easy automatic? Because I definitely see people using bots and nodes and stuff and killing it. Dude, by the way, same with Mog. Probably Mog. And, God, there's some other ones recently too. Hang on. What's the OSF one? The stupid duck. What's the duck one called, guys? Some of these meme coins, man, some of you guys are going to retire from these meme coins this year. Some of you guys are going to retire. I'll be happy for you. On it, I can't wait. I cannot wait to see the wins in this community. Good Lord. Mo, we checked it. Mo, we looked. Looks cool. New one. It's got a cool story, man. Yeah, maybe I'll dive into that too, honestly. Yeah, man, good stuff. All right. Hey, we got our super special boy here. All right. Big brother Tickle Snurf is here. We'll do some talking. We can talk meme coins. Tickle knows a lot about all this stuff, by the way. Tickle's a degen too, but let's get into Bitcoin Nashville, his time out there. Okay, how we looking? Good. Good morning, sir.
GMs, mega GMs.
Mega GMs, dude. I dropped that this morning on the show. I haven't done that in forever.
Man, that's I use that all the time. It's either G Meow or mega GMs, and of course, I completely stole that from you. I love it. Like, it's mega GMs is the best.
Okay, I'm putting the cards on the table here. My play is to start using mega GMs again. Like, I'm going to start using it again, and the goal is as mega ETH gets more popular and grows. My channel content is going to be focused, I think, on the mega ETH blockchain, and I'm going to see. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like a stupid low hanging fruit thing, but those kind of things work.
Sure, if you can curate viewers and otherwise by semantics and words, like, I'm all for it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Vroov. Yeah, Vroov, I see you, sir.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah, in Epic and other communities.
That's cool. Yeah, dude, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Where do we start? Let's think. First off, welcome. It's good to see you, man.
Thanks. We missed you. It was a bunch of idiots, right, that got to meet up from non-fungible idiots. So it was great to be able to meet people like Dead Polaroid, D Brizzle, and of course Henry. But man, you were definitely missed.
Yeah, man, I wish I was there. I wish I was there, especially like watching it. I'll tell you, I probably couldn't tell you how long I spent watching the conference and just watching, especially when the hosts were like at a desk and they were just reporting, and you could see the
Yeah.
audience walk behind. I watched for you guys like throughout. I was like, I wonder if I'm going to see them walk by. I
Oh,
didn't see
that's
you
funny.
guys, but I spent a lot of time doing that and wishing I was there. But I know we'll all get to another conference together. So let's start with it. Surface level. How was the conference? That was your first like Web3 conference, I think, too.
It was, and so there were, there were two different aspects to it, right? Like the first day was Inscribed Nashville, which was separate from Bitcoin 2024. So those were totally disentangled events, connected just in principle, right? Ordinals doesn't exist without Bitcoin, but it was very clearly when we say we are so early in Ordinals, we are just so stinking early. Like the venue was sold out for Inscribed Nashville. And we're talking like 200
Wow.
people. And what was amazing was like sitting in that room, to me, felt like, there's sometimes that there was the meme floating around of like Bitcoin in like 2013 or 2014. And it's like one guy presenting and 5 people in the room because it was so early.
Right.
That's what it felt like. It's like as much as people were descending on Nashville for Bitcoin to be able to hear Trump, RFK, speculating on Kamala Harris, Michael Saylor, all these people focused on Bitcoin and its adoption. But then you have this little offshoot community of ordinals, and we're talking about art. We're talking about games. We're talking about new kinds of protocols. It's like, it's a handful of people. It's so small. So we really are early. That was sort of the overwhelming impression I kept getting throughout that first day. Yeah, it was incredible. So the Inscribed Nashville was great. Got to meet folks like Trevor from Pizza Ninjas.
Nice.
Met a ton of the Taproot Wizard guys. It was really. I'll tell you what was really cool. Oh, is this the part when Trump said he's going to fire Gary Gensler?
Not this clip. This clip is actually kind of ties into where you saying we're early, which again, we're crazy early.
Yeah.
And still Ordinals and Runes too are your best opportunity to mine Bitcoin. We're so
Absolutely.
early. That's your best chance to make Bitcoin. We have a challenge though. Yes, we're early, but adoption on Bitcoin is incredibly hard, right? There is a saying, and Trump says it here, right? Never sell your Bitcoin. Bitcoiners don't want to sell their Bitcoin. They do not want to sell it. It's a really tricky thing because as early as we are, here's Danny from OCM saying, man, one thing is clear about the Ordinals community. It's strong and it's tiny, just like Tickle said. Few Bitcoiners at the main Bitcoin conference are into Ordinals or even know what Ordinals are. And we had asked Henry this last week on the afternoon show. We're like, hey, are you talking to people? Are they Ordinals collectors already? Are they interested? He's like, I don't know, but I don't think so. A lot of these guys, the hardcore Bitcoin guys, they're different, right? These are more like TradFi guys that have come over here, or they're more like the other side of it is techie guys who now are getting into finance because of this too. But a lot of them are not necessarily degens and they're not necessarily collectors, although enough of them are. But yeah, never sell Bitcoin is what they say over and over and over again. So yeah, we're small and growing is going to be very hard. It's not going to take much though, again, with how early we are, how few of those Grail collections there are. There's so few. Like we talk about them and we'll look at that here in a moment at Magic Eden and floor prices because there's some spicy stuff out there. But it's going to be a bit of a grind. So yeah, worth pointing that stuff out. Okay, continue. I'm so sorry, man.
No, that's good. No, so here's what I'm fascinated about the never sell Bitcoin. So it's said over and over, but I think when people are intreatable about when you talk to them about what ordinals are and what the potential is, right? So I was probably in a half, maybe between a third and half of the Ubers that I was in. People were asking about Bitcoin, what kind of wallets they should use. And then I would start talking about ordinals. And I told them one of the interesting things about Bitcoin is that as Bitcoin gets mass adoption, let's say you go to Starbucks and you can pay for your coffee with Bitcoin. Maybe when you pay for your coffee with Bitcoin, you actually get a cool little piece of art that is now in your wallet. That's an ordinal. Yep. And so you could actually get, as there's more Web 2 adoption of being able to use Bitcoin for transactions, in a capitalist society where people are going to be looking for the next leg up, like what if everyone starts incorporating some art as part of their passes? Like, right, if you accept Bitcoin, it's not that far of a leap to now be able to like send a piece of art to your wallet or something like that. And when we have one group that starts to do that, others are going to pile on. So I think the not sell your Bitcoin for USD makes sense, but I think people are going to be intrigued by the idea that ordinals can be a Bitcoin multiplier based on art, collectibles, and gaming. And it's like, to your point, it is Ordinals and Runes are going to be the fastest way to be able to multiply Bitcoin instead of it's going to be too long to wait for. If we look at Michael Saylor's, I'm super caffeinated right now. If we look at like Michael Saylor's projection, how it's going to be a long time before we get like a 10x potentially on Bitcoin. Not so much on ordinals. Like we've got so many cool projects even launching this week where there's potential for 2, 5, 10x on something like No Ordinary Kind. That when people see the possibility, I think we're going to maybe see adoption sooner rather than later, depending on who goes first. And sort of the Web 2 with Bitcoin adoption, and then sees the opportunity for ordinals.
And you know what? Great points. There's a huge opportunity here to just flip the narrative. That's fine. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Never sell Bitcoin. That's totally cool. You don't have to sell it to get an ordinal. You're literally changing the form of your Bitcoin. It's still Bitcoin. These things really have held, I think, depending on when you got in, held their value pretty well. A lot of them, I think, are actually incredibly underpriced, and I feel very confident we'll see it play out that way. But, man, you're not necessarily selling your Bitcoin when you buy an ordinal. You're literally keeping a piece of Bitcoin. And in fact, it's a different kind of Bitcoin, something that has even potentially more valuable than the Bitcoin you put into it. And it's a different kind of store of value still on Bitcoin. And that's a narrative that just has to click with people. Like I always reference the aha moment, and all those people who hold Bitcoin because they understand like digital assets, digital property. That's what Bitcoin is. It's going to click with them digital collectibles too. It will click because they already understand it. They're just thinking in the world of currency. They got to start thinking in the world of collectability, but it also is turning collectibles into currency at the same time. So these people are all going to have that moment too, and it's going to click, and they're going to want, I feel very sure about this again, they're going to want to have a piece of that, especially the older stuff and the historic stuff. And guys, if you were here last year, you have the old historic stuff. That is the stuff you have.
That's right.
It is that new. We are that early that you have the historic stuff. So you should feel very happy and proud about that too. And if you don't have it, again, I got to keep saying it because this stuff is very expensive. So I will say it. This is not financial advice, but the old historic stuff is incredibly affordable now. It is all stuff I am looking to accumulate here because this is, to me, wild. To have puppets under 0.1, I think that's an incredible price. They are very close to a number that I think you just can't pass on it. Node monks are already there. Node monks at 0.13, I think is silly, and it makes sense. It still makes sense because that's how few people there are in this space. I think all of them misjudge collection sizes if they were thinking short term. 10K way too much. We don't have a lot of people in here. Quantum Cats are the one that holds that high floor price because they pick the correct number of editions for that collection. 3,300, very smart, fits today. Looks even better down the road as that number of users grows over here. But man, I'm so freaking excited about what's coming here and what it is now. The fact that these are even here and that they actually are still relevant, and that I know most people do want to get in here. It's just, it is so damn expensive, even with prices down like they are. It's like this puppet here is still like $5,000. It's still like $5,000 to $6,000 at 0.09. It's wild. That is the biggest hurdle for them, is how expensive it is. Again, you start winning over those Bitcoiners, the guys who do say, never sell your Bitcoin. Those prices don't stay that way for long. It's exciting times, man.
It's absolutely the people who are holding, the whales who are holding Bitcoin, for them to get into ordinals. These are the no-brainer moves. For those who want to get into ordinals but are they've never set up an Xverse wallet before, and now they have to move $5,000-$10,000 in order to buy a blue chip. Like, that's a huge ask. But for us, I've been looking at Node Monks the last few days, and it's absolutely a buy. And I'm close. I'm very close to, I think, having enough liquid to be able to get one. It's just look at that 0.12, 0.125, 0.128.
Yep.
I mean, that's just crazy. Node Monks and Quantum Cats have the best like Quantum Cat to me has the best narrative on Ordinals. Node Monk has the narrative and the provenance in ways that Puppets don't. So it's like Puppet I might get. I ran into a lot of Puppet people.
What'd you think of Puppet people?
I think I would my personality is much closer to Wizards and the Cats community than it is Puppets. I'll just say that. Like, nothing against Puppets, but it is a different vibe. And that's just, it doesn't fit my speed, which is fine. Like, I still would like to get one, but I'm going to prioritize a Node Monk without question.
Yep. Super smart. And I'll say this for people who are priced out of these. I think your goal or objective, if not to get in those, which I think that should be it, the top 4, and I'll do them in order that I think they'll matter or value. Maybe it's one and the same. It's Quantum Cats, it's Node Monks. These are all interchangeable, the first 3. Quantum Cats, Node Monks, OMB. Interchangeable, all 3 of those, in my opinion. Quantum Cats are my favorite. I have one, but they're my favorite because supply, because I think the team is just exceptional marketers and builders. Puppets are below all 3 of those, in my opinion. Again, it's different. It's more speculative. It's a cool-ass culture play. But it's also a lot of ETH guys who I think are very quick to dump, and I think that's why you see it in the price. I think that explains it all, and I think this is the perfect market to expose or highlight either way what these collections are and which ones have that kind of substance, and that's why, again, man, floor prices say everything. You don't even have to add any color. You look at the floor prices, it sums up these collections perfectly. Okay, you can't afford them, though. That's fine. I think your opportunities are getting in collections that people really like, that are really affordable because airdrops. That was what had everybody who was early win. You had those original collections, those older ones, those respected ones. You got airdrops, you got whitelist, just like we saw last cycle in NFTs. We saw it in Bitcoin, and man, for whatever reason, that Bitcoin ecosystem is incredibly rewarding. So I'm looking at stuff like Aeons. I think that's a perfect one that now is a nice mix of affordable. It's got everybody in the Bitcoin ecosystem into it. Everybody looks at it and they like it. They love the art. They respect the team. It's got a very nice community. But when we start getting to airdrop season, I think Aeons are going to be one that's benefiting from all the biggest ones. The same ones that Quantum Cats and Node Monks and Puppets get in, I think Aeons will be in that same group. They'll get the airdrops. They'll get allocations. They'll get whitelists. So that's your play, I think. If you can't get in the big guys, you're getting in ones that are going to be able to be rewarded in that next cycle that's coming. And I think it's damn near here.
Yeah, I think you have a good point. If people are just coming in and they want to be able to get sort of the opportunity to get things, it's finding some of these ordinals that give you really good odds of whitelist wins, because we've been seeing collections as they're coming in better priced, 2x, 5x, 10xing. And so it's not as hot as it was before, but there's still many of these opportunities. And I think there's going to be more that are coming in the next few weeks that are sort of primed for doing well, to be able to get those kinds of multipliers, like advance your Bitcoin, start then potentially lending that Bitcoin on Liquidium, because then you can get more Bitcoin back. You get points for then more airdrops. Like it's a really good time. Like people are seeing red all over the place, but it is such a good time for trying to get some really cheap ordinals that can get you whitelist, getting runes that have a huge opportunity for 5-10x growth, getting into communities, getting to know better. Deadmet. Oh, nice. Deadmet thread guy. Yeah, I'm super bullish on all this stuff.
Yep. Royals. I like them a lot. And we got people who watch the show that are in the Royals, and they're all, I can say this, everybody I've met in that community is awesome. Like I have liked every single person who's a big Royals collector, fan, whatever. But I'm not sure. I don't know how these perform, other than I think when the whole market pumps, so do they. I think it just makes sense. And I think they got cool tech. They got a cool story. But what I've learned over and over again is the broader community, the guys who are in it to just flip, the speculators, don't give a shit about tech. They don't. This could be the coolest, most revolutionary thing ever, and this is closer to that than most of the other collections out there. But your average person is not going to care at all. And that's always a problem with, getting into a collection where that's the selling point. Usually, I don't want to say usually, but often enough it backfires. It actually limits things because it's too complicated. It's too challenging. It's the opposite of a puppet, which does nothing. They don't give a shit. There's nothing techy or flashy about it, and those rip. And so put those next to each other and use that as a lesson for, how you think they'll play out going forward. And yeah, you see it in prices, even right now. But love Royals, love them. Actually, we'll end up getting one at some point. And they're cheap enough. I might just do it today.
What's
like
the narrative on Royals? Like, I have no exposure. Is it the DAT?
It's I don't know DAT, but DMT is what I always heard.
DMT,
yeah,
DMT.
it's whatever the way they mint is by certain block patterns or something. So when a certain again, I don't understand this because they are technical, which I think is super cool about them. And this might be a wrong analogy, but they almost remind me of the nouns, which again, it's certain increments. And again, on this with these specifically, it's certain blocks or block patterns. When they happen, it mints a new one. And I think they slow over time too, as far as how often they're minted. So the collection, I don't know if Royals are the same here as DMT cats maybe, but the collection will infinitely grow, but it grows at a slow rate. And I think maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Again, you guys are the experts on the Royals, but maybe certain of those block patterns will create a rarer ordinal, right? A rarer PFP. And if all that's true, it's cool as fuck. That's one of the coolest things I've heard on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, people just don't. People don't care. We care. I think all of us are in here for a different reason. We appreciate the tech and we appreciate people innovating. But clearly, like people say, we're here for the art. Clearly, 90% of people who are in this space aren't. And they're not here for tech. They're here to make money, and that's fine. But just recognizing it is cool.
So speaking of art, what do you think of the Hardo Far collab that's coming with it sounds like bees and flowers?
Yeah.
Might be doing something.
I mean, really excited. Harto is he's one of the first guys I collected over in this ecosystem. His art was my first big purchase. It was my first big purchase, I think, before, I can't remember. I feel like it was before I even got a Quantum Cat. I bought one of his golden ratios. I love Harto. I think he's awesome. Actually, both of them. I'd say those are my top two favorite artists, and they are two of the top artists, biggest artists in the Bitcoin space. So a collab there, I can't even picture what it would look like because their styles couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see the collaborating and those kind of guys working together. I think it's just great for the space. So yeah, there's not enough details out there yet as far as I know, right? We got a little teaser, little video, I think, but is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I think Hardo did something. I think he said something to the effect where he had, flower plus B equals garden or something like that. Yeah,
that's
but
cool.
It's just like these are two of the bigger names, right? When it comes to art and the impact on culture in ordinals. And so the fact that they're doing either creating something new based on already existing art. Like I love that they're collabing. I can't wait to see what they're going to actually build. And what's neat is it seems like, especially coming out of Inscribed Nashville and sort of the Bitcoin conference, like there are new people that are wanting to get into the space and they're trying to figure out, well, what do they buy? So like Parker Day, I got to meet her, hung out with her a bit, like very cool. Like, and she tweeted, I think yesterday, she was like, hey, D-Gens, like, I want to start collecting some inscriptions. What do you recommend? And so you had everything. You had some people saying like, buy a Quantum Cat. And it's like, yeah, that's great. It's good to get a Quantum Cat. That's a lot of money. But it's like, look at things like Sense. Look at Floriforms. Like there's like Voca. Like there's really cool stuff out there where you don't need to drop 0.3 Bitcoin in order to get something really cool. Yeah, I like Sense. I know you're big on those. I love them. Seeing what Hardo has, it's completely accessible with BuzzBuzz. Floriforms are gorgeous. Like it's cool that those are easy on ramps for people to start collecting art on chain.
And they're extra interesting. So yes, it's super affordable from some of the biggest names here in this space. What's super interesting about those in particular, we haven't had an art cycle yet on Bitcoin. We haven't, guys. As much as like from time to time we've had a little art focus. Like we've seen the art, there's been some art drops. Most people have tried to get in, and we've talked about it. But man, talking about the macro ecosystem here, I'm talking Tezos and Ethereum and the whole art space. We have not had an art cycle in a while. I'm talking well over a year since before the Goose sold. Even that sold at $6 million, not during an art meta. I think we probably got to go back maybe a year and a half or 2 years. The last time we had a real art focused run hasn't happened. We haven't seen it on Bitcoin, and still these things performed well. What do you think happens? I'm not like, dude, guys, What do you think happens when we get the very limited supply of art here on Bitcoin that's going to coincide, like this perfect storm is brewing, mass adoption into Bitcoin collectibles, at the same time an art cycle happens over on Bitcoin and very little supply of really, really great art. Something magical is going to happen over there. I'm sure of it. It's why I hold so many of those things. Like you mentioned, Sense, perfect. It is a perfect example of something that I think it's got a great future ahead of it, is super affordable from an awesome artist. Floriform, same thing. OX Fars work, same thing. It's really interesting watching these things in the price. Like, for example, Fars, early GANs, they were 0.03. Dude, I bought one expecting it to go under mint price because there's not enough people over here. There's not enough collectors to support any of this stuff yet. And inevitably, that will change. It will change because it's simply on Bitcoin. It is that simple. You don't got to overthink it. So, man, great opportunities over in Bitcoin. I hope people are watching. Can't wait to see, by the way, the garden thing. I cannot wait. We always knew these were going to evolve. This collection would evolve. I don't think we knew exactly how, other than there were these monochrome versions of these flowers in the collection. And we don't know who's getting them and why, but we knew this was going to be a dynamic collection. I think we're starting to see a little bit of why. So,
and there's going to be the pairs and the triplets that are in there as well. Which is like, it can go so many directions. I'm really excited to see what they do. Yeah,
a lot of depth here. And so what Tickles is talking about there, so initially this collection comes out and people started noticing, hey man, I have my output and this guy over there's got one that's the exact same. It doesn't just look similar, it's the exact same. And they're like, oh my God, wait, it's not just 2 of them, there's 3 of them, there's 4 of them, there's 5 of them. It's pretty wild. There's a ton of duplicates in this collection. It wasn't an accident. By design, this was a very thoughtful collection that Harto, again, planned this out ahead of time. There's going to be more coming to this collection. Again, maybe it has something to do with is it bees or what's this collection? Buzz.
Yeah, that's Harto's. It was like I think people could I don't want to say it was infinite supply, but it was basically on like people could mint and then it closed. So it's these and the flowers are going to do something, which is interesting because Bitcoin bees. Do you remember Bitcoin bees?
Bitcoin bees. No, I don't.
It was about a year ago. I think it was from C12, who does seeker stuff. And so he had Bitcoin bees and then Bitcoin flowers. And if you had, like, I don't think there's been the official mechanic, but maybe if you own bees and certain kind of flowers, you could do something, but I don't think it went anywhere. So This might be like, certainly when you have the stature of Harto and Far doing something with theirs, like they're going to cook up something amazing art-wise.
Yeah, man. I'm tempted to grab a few. I only bought one of these on the primary sale. And without having any details, I'm curious if I should like grab a few of these and then split up my Harto stuff. Like I probably have 12 Floriforms. So I wonder if it's worth buying 12 of these and split them off into different wallets. And, in theory, the next collection, their collab is limited to at most 10K editions. If you have to have a Floriform,
that's right.
You look at this supply of 27,000, almost 28,000. That will not be the supply of this thing. It's going to be limited by Floriforms most likely. So keep that in mind. Really tempted to do something here though.
Now you should have, I think, because you have both early GANs and Flare, and you got Buzz airdropped. So if you were a holder of either of Far's collections, you got them airdropped. So for those who are still holding those and you're interested in these collections, make sure to check your wallets because you should have an equal number of Buzz to Far pieces that you own.
Yeah, really good point. So now that reminded me, I didn't even buy them. I just got the airdrops. Didn't buy any of them. So, okay, 2. I'm happy with 2. I'll be totally honest, happy with that.
I have 2. I'm debating buying 6, but I'll see.
Oh, cool. To match Floriforms?
Yeah, just because I've got 8 Floriforms. I kind of want to have 1-to-1, but I don't want to be overexposed. So I'll see.
It's a tricky game, man. It's a fun one too. It's a blast. What were your favorite moments of the conference? And you kind of touched on people you met. Favorite moments, favorite people you met, and what were you actually at the conference? Like, did you hear some of the speeches, some of the lecture, whatever?
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't at the Bitcoin conference. And it sounds like outside of what was streamed, and Henry kind of said this, it was primarily sort of like miners wallet people. Like it was tech people. It's like people looking at L2s, wallets, and miners. Like that's most of what was there. I think so. Some of the really cool highlights was meeting people like English, Ordinal HO, people that are on both the Blob and Epic teams. So people that I'm kind of like in Discord doing collabs, working on teams with, getting to meet them in real life was pretty amazing. English is as great as you'd expect him to be.
Nice.
IRL, Ordinal HO, like really, really solid dude. Got to meet Chip
Cool.
and
like
Mike from Miners. Like, again, really, really solid guys. Like, I think more than anything, I tweeted about this yesterday. I just had this real misconception about who's in Ordinal, such that like a lot of times, like if you spend time in certain chats, and I won't name names, where people are just whining and complaining about pumps and when this and why aren't devs doing that, you really get I sort of create a mental picture that it's really just young 20 somethings that are in this space, which that may be true in terms of like who's entering in and not just having a lot of experience, but the people who are building. The people who showed up to Inscribe Nashville, it's all boomers. Like it's all people in their 40s that were all sort of like lamenting, why are these parties starting at 9 o'clock at night? We want to be in bed.
My people.
And so it's the, puppets, like it more than anything, like puppets, man, they love the 10 p.m. It doesn't matter if they're in their 40s, 50s, they're showing. So it was really cool meeting people on teams, getting to hear people's stories, getting to meet artists. Everyone's just sharing like what they do IRL, how they're splitting their time, hearing things that people are passionate about in this space, which almost everyone is bullish on art. Everyone's bullish on ordinals. Not a lot of people were bullish on runes, but that's just it's our bags. They're just really heavy. So it's interesting sort of the dichotomy of like the people who are really bullish on runes still, those who aren't at all. I'll tell you the Taproot Wizard party, like no one throws a party like Taproot Wizards. Like
they look different. You can feel the energy from them from afar.
And here's why I'm really bullish on Ordinals. Casey did his presentation at the conference, and even while Dead said like the room kind of cleared out, there were enough people there that heard the talk where that was their first exposure to Ordinals, where they signed up for the Taproot Wizard party. I met about 4 or 5 people at that party who knew nothing about Ordinals other than what they heard that day at the conference and signed up for the party. And so they were like a couple people that I met and like we're now friends on Telegram, where they're like, what do I do in order to get into Ordinals? So it was really cool. Like that happened because of Taproot Wizards, because of Casey. So the fact that there are people that are interested, like, is pretty cool. Seize Control. They had their Cybertruck there. People were really bullish on No Ordinary Kind. That was like one of the discussion, which like now that we see their price, I think that was the big fear, was that I don't know if you remember when they did their Genesis collection. It was a really big push for whitelist mechanics, a lot of like engagement farming kinds of things. And then the price was something like 0.15, somewhere between 0.10 and 0.15. It didn't mint out. People were really pissed off. And so the big question was going to be, is there going to be a decent entry point on the mint price? 0.0014 for it's a 7K collection. First come, first serve whitelist, super over allocated, but I'm bullish on this one.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It looks really cool.
Is there a story with them? Like a quick TLDR?
So One Piece Penny created all the art by hand, the original 400 collection, where he does digital designs on fiat, and so it's basically fuck fiat is the ethos of it. Like buy Bitcoin, like fiat screwed us over. Yeah, so this part is really cool. You can decide how you actually reveal your ordinal. I think these are going to do really well. Like at 0.001, like seems like they could get 0.005. Semi easily, as people are starting to reveal their art.
Man, too late for whitelist here, I'm assuming.
Yeah, collabs are closed at this point. I think
these motherfuckers. Not happy about that.
You don't know whitelist?
I don't think so. No, probably not. But GG to anybody who did get. For sure. Those look awesome, by the way. I just love the vibe on Bitcoin. I love that everything's got that look. It's just fucking different. I love it. I love it. Man, I could probably talk. God, I could talk for hours. I think we barely even got into to Nashville and like kind of what Trump and RFK and Vivek and Saylor and all them said about this stuff. And it's like world-changing stuff that they were talking about, that they believe in, that are guys on our side. Those guys are on our side. It's that we don't have to convince them anymore. They're here. They're convinced, and they're going to battle for us.
Yep.
Actually with us, which is super cool. Cynthia Loomis, all these people, they get it. And they're pushing policy here in the United States, and we know elsewhere around the world it's changing. So we all get to be a part of that. We can end by saying, yet again, we're early. Man, we are so early, which is awesome to think about, considering we know every day we get more and more sure about where this is going. And it's going to places that are just, man, I think were unthinkable a few years ago. Now it's kind of beyond thinkable. It seems obvious. And so really, really awesome stuff incoming, guys. Excited to be doing this with you. Man,
can I give a quick plug?
Yeah.
Well, actually, one thing if people didn't see yet, because it's been a busy week, Xverse now has functionality in the Chrome version or the web version of the wallet where you can swap runes within the wallet. And there's some selected ones. I can't remember all of them. There might be 4 or 5 of them that you can swap automatically, which is great, right? So rather than having to sell blocks on Magic Eden, you could swap right in your wallet. It's coming to mobile soon. So I thought that makes me more bullish on runes. It's just like it's easier to potentially swap now.
Right.
And there is going to be a big epic announcement, I think, coming in the next few days. So I know everyone's bags are kind of heavy. We did have a team member who met with former President Trump. There you go. And so we get they gave him a seed phrase that has a whole bunch of epic in it for him. So Trump is now an epic holder. And so we've got some things cooking. So it's going to be exciting to see. It's going to be exciting to see what that will do with the epic rune. It's also going to be to see if there's any spillover to other runes that kind of jumpstart something. We'll
Interesting. See. Man, you guys are cooking. You on the show like 3-4 weeks ago talking Blob and Epic. Won me over. I'm like a fanboy now. So awesome stuff over there. Can't wait to hear what you got coming in a few days. Cool. Trump's now an epic holder. So tell your friends Trump is an epic holder. Wild stuff. Guys, appreciate you tuning in, hanging, all that good stuff. Maybe I got to say this, maybe no afternoon show today. And I didn't even plan this as in like, I didn't tweet about it this morning when I mentioned shows coming up. Maybe no afternoon show. Cause I know Henry's traveling. I want to give him the chance to like take a little break. He's been on the road, I think. I don't know. Well, I'll let you know. Follow on X so you can hear if this show is happening or not. Hudah_idiot. Stay tuned. Tickle, thank you for coming. Like always, love having you here.
Anytime.
Okay. Your final words were epic. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah,
guys.
Yeah. Look, I know a lot of people weren't able to go this year, but for those whose bags are heavy, seeing red candles everywhere, like it's so early. People are so bullish. The fact that people were lined up 6 hours to see Trump, say something about Bitcoin, like we are early. We're going to make it out of the sort of downward descent. It's just going to take some time. Like incredibly excited.
Absolutely love it. All right, I'm going to go out on a little Trump comment here. You'll get a little echo if you talk, Tickle. So just a heads up. Guys, I'll see you later on. Peace.
On day 1, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman. I didn't know he was that unpopular. Well, I didn't know he was that unpopular. Let me say it again. On day 1, I will fire Gary Gensler. Whoa.
We'll see you guys.